Hi everyone, my name's Kelly, the channel is the Dodgy Vegan. Welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Pleased to see you again. If it's your first time here, you've just stumbled on me, please stick around to the end of the video, see if you kind of like the style of videos that I do. And to all of you, a really happy new year, and I hope 2019 is a great year for you. So the purpose of today's video is for those of you that are new to veganism or contemplating doing Veganuary. This is just 10 helpful tips that if I'd known when I embarked on my vegan journey, I really think would have helped my transition be easier. So I do have some notes here, so forgive me if I do look down. But tip number 1 is use fruits and veggies that you're already familiar with and that you know how to cook. There is such an array and abundance of food and fruits and vegetables that you may not have seen before. And as your taste buds start to change, you will want to try more of these, which is great, and you absolutely should. But for the first couple of weeks, I would say stick to what you know, stick to what you know how to cook, stick to what you know tastes good to you. Number 2 is to keep it simple. So if you're using the fruits and veggies that or specifically veggies, so say if you're going to cook a meal, using the veggies that you're already familiar with, you can do simple things. Keep it really simple. Do stir fries, do roast veggies, do salads with rice or quinoa and things like that. You know, just keep it really simple. So number 3 is just while you're doing Veganuary, do your research on this. Try and connect to your reasons for doing this. If this is just something that you're interested in, you know, crack on, enjoy it. You will love it. There's so many wonderful foods now, and the number 1 thing that you'll notice is that you save more money. That can't be bad, can it? But yeah, do your research. So if you're really looking to embark on this as a lifestyle change, read some books. So, I mean, you know, the China Study, Starch Solution. Understand the reasons why fruits and veggies are better for us than the standard American or standard British diet is. And if you're really looking to embark on this as a complete lifestyle change rather than just a Veganuary and see how it goes, research, you know, it will be slightly different. So you've got like What the Health, which will open your eyes to the medicines and how food can heal us. The same as Forks Over Knives. So that comes to the whole food plant-based lifestyle rather than the vegan lifestyle, and it comes at it from a different angle. So it is all about health, and it's all about kind of the meat and dairy industry and the money that's poured into that. So it gives you a different viewpoint on that. If you're doing this for the animals, then watch things like, I mean, Earthlings. It's just one of those things that you can never not see it. So you can't unsee it once you've watched it. So if you're coming to this lifestyle for that, watch that. If you're not, then for the time being, I would say steer away from those kind of documentaries. But, you know your reason for coming to this. If it's just curiosity, then by all means be curious. Look up some nice restaurants. Go and have some really nice food that's already made for you. Do some of the food meal plans where you can get, you know, your plant-based food delivered to your door. Great. Know how easy it is to stick to this lifestyle or to be introduced to this lifestyle, and how great that you feel on it. But yes, do your research, know your reasons, but don't over research if you're not prepared to stick to this journey, because it will just make you feel really rubbish about yourself if you were to go back and start eating meat just after you've seen these things. So do your research, but be mindful about the research that you should do, if that makes sense. So number 4 is to just forewarn you, so be prepared for a bit of a detox. I would not recommend, if you're doing Veganuary, I would not recommend you also doing dry January. I would not recommend you also embarking on the start of a fitness challenge. I would not recommend that you also start doing a sugar-free January. You know, it's going to be too much. And what will be blamed for this, when you're feeling crappy due to the detox, you will blame the lack of meat and the lack of dairy because my iron's low, I'm so tired, I need to eat meat. You will blame everything on the fact that you are doing a plant-based diet or a vegan diet, as opposed to the fact that you're detoxing from sugar, you might be detoxing from alcohol, you might be detoxing from caffeine. Embark on one journey at a time. Know that you're going to go through it. I mean, if you're coming from a diet where you have, you know, a bacon sandwich in the morning, then you'll have a ham and cheese sandwich for lunch, and then you'll have, you know, I don't know, a spag bowl or a roast dinner, or, you know, was it meat and 2 veg, kind of the standard diet in the evening. There's going to be some changes that are going on in your body. So just be prepared for the detox. So number 5 is don't overspend. This kind of links in with number 1. So use things that you're familiar with, that you know. Don't go crazy and buying an abundance of different fruits and veggies. You don't need to spend that much money. I mean, this lifestyle is so cost effective. Just buy the standard things. Buy, I don't know, apples and oranges for the first week. You know, let that be your staple foods, and buy your potatoes, broccoli and carrots. And that will be your 3 veggies for the first week, or the first couple of days. You know, depending on how you do your shopping. You might do it once a week. You might be somebody that pops into the shop every couple of days. You might be somebody that goes once a month and gets the big bits and just uses the produce in the week. So yeah, just don't go mad buying lots and lots of new things, because again, you will blame, if you don't use everything, you will blame the lifestyle for your waste in food. So you will blame the plant-based lifestyle for not using all of your potatoes, not using all of your carrots, not using all of your veg, rather than just oh, I went out to dinner 3 nights this week, so actually what I bought, that's why that's gone bad. So don't use it as an excuse. Don't spend too much, use what you're gonna eat and go from there. So number 6 is, if you do overspend, or if you've already done your shopping and then realise that you've got a couple of events coming up in the week, don't waste the produce either. So lots of produce, I mean, most veggies you can chop up and throw in a bowl of hot water, or, you know, boil up some hot water, put it on the stove, throw in some seasoning, throw in some veggie stock or a stock cube. You've got a soup. You can either leave it chunky and you've got a lovely hearty chunky soup, or you can blend it up and you've got a more blended soup. And soups freeze as well, so don't let the food go to waste. Pop it in a pot, make a soup or a stew, you're good to go. You've got a meal for a night or 2, and then when this is cooked, it will freeze. So number 7 is, don't freak out if you accidentally eat something that isn't vegan. So I think I had been vegan for about 8 weeks. I was sitting on the sofa and I was the better part through a tube of salt and vinegar Pringles. I mean, I'm talking, you know, when the flavouring has made your lips go really sore but you just can't stop eating. That's how far down I was. And then I picked up the tube, crunch, 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 reading the back, lactose powder in it. I mean, that's just awful. Why Pringles? Why do you put it in there? There's no need for it to be in there. So I was kind of like, oh, this sucks. Had to put down the tube. I felt really horrible about that for a couple of days. But it wasn't an intention. I just hadn't realised that there would be things like lactose powder in crisps. You think salt and vinegar, cheese and onion, yeah, I get it. And most of that is flavouring, so actually, you know, you might be okay, but salt and vinegar, I didn't foresee that. So just, you know, don't freak out about it. Forgive yourself and move on. It's fine. And if you're doing Veganuary, this might be something that you take forward to the rest of your life, therefore you've got plenty of time to make up for it. And if it's not, then it was just a little blip, so what's the problem? Number 8, meal prep as much as you can. You may not be familiar with meal prepping. It just means that you're preparing your meals in advance, in bulk and in batches. So you could do a soup and then you could have that for lunch one day, you could have that for dinner with a toasted sandwich the following day, or you can freeze it. You could make spaghetti bolognese for dinner and then, you know, you've got enough left for lunch the next day. So that's kind of small batch cooking. Or you can make a massive rice dish, a massive pasta dish, steam or stir fry or roast a load of veggies, And then you can kind of mix and match. So whatever your version of meal prep is, I would really recommend that you do it. And it's going to be really easy to try and stick to this in January. January is the most broke month of the year. It's the longest time between the last payday and the next payday, where we've all got the January blues. We've all had to go back to work. Life is shit. We've all completely lost track of our resolutions. When we've joined the gym, we're now paying for it, and we've gone twice, you know? So don't let your food be one of the things that make you feel bad. You've bought the ingredients, you've bought all your produce, you know how to cook it, meal prep it. Therefore, when you get to the end of the month and you don't have any money left, you've still got some really delicious meals. And if you do that at the beginning of the month and freeze a load of things, you have got that for the whole of January. If you've got an empty freezer right now, you could go to the supermarket, you could make your bolognese, you could make your vegan lasagna if you wanted. You could make, you know, you could part roast your potatoes and put them in the freezer already. There's loads of things that you can do to make sure that you've got food for the whole month, regardless of what the bank account looks like. Number 9 is to eat enough. Coming from a standard meat and dairy diet, you're used to having a smaller quantity of vegetables and potatoes, say, or grains or starch on your plate, because the main focus is the meat, and the rest of the plate is the dressing. You need to change that mindset. So the main portion of the meal is what you would consider to be the dressing around the edge. So your potatoes or your rice or your couscous or your quinoa or just the whole plate of roasted veggies becomes the focal of your plate. That becomes the main part of your meal, with great seasonings and, you know, learning how to cook things properly. These taste delicious, and the further into Veganuary you get, the more these will taste delicious, because your taste buds change. But what you do have to do is eat enough. But if you go hungry through this, you are going to blame the food. And this will actually be the only time it is the food. And you will say, I'm starving, I need to eat some more. This food isn't filling me up. I'm going to go McDonald's, KFC, wherever. And I'm going to go and get a proper meal. It's not. You haven't eaten enough. So just bear that in mind, and if you're hungry, go back and eat more of what you've had already. So cook in abundance, meal prep, eat a crap load of food. And finally, number 10, enjoy it. I mean, I'm so jealous of you guys right now, being able to start out on this again with the wealth of information that's now available. I mean, I've been vegan, I think it's four years. Sometimes I think 4, sometimes I think 5. I can never really remember. But you know, you guys are coming to this with fresh eyes and fresh stomachs, and I'm really, really jealous, and I'm really, really happy that you guys are going to get to try this out, and I hope it sticks. But you know, whatever it is, just give it a fair go. Don't blame stuff on the food. These tips should help you. So happy 2019, everybody. If you've got any questions for me below, if you've got any questions for me, leave them below and I will come back to you. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ding the notification bell, and YouTube should inform you of when I've uploaded the next video, and give me a thumbs up as well. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your year, enjoy your Veganuary, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.